Welcome to P3 Radio.
The monkey only dances as good as the guy grinding the organ handle.
Brother.
I fly, bro. That is never stopping.
Truck goes to Dwight.
Cool story, bro.
Footy pajamas.
Hey, it's genius. It's 2 p.m. Central.
PG3 Radio.
Here's your host, Josh Riley.
Get him off pig, Freddy. Get him off pig.
Richard Mullican.
And as I put you down, my pants ripped.
It's showtime! It's showtime! It's showtime!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of P3 Radio. I'm Richard Mullican, joined by my co-host, Hall & Oates' greatest Hall & Odor. Hall & Odor? And best friend, Josh Briley. Say hey, Josh.
I am the number one odor, Josh Briley. Richard Mullican, how are you doing?
Are you more of a hauler? Or are you more of an odor?
I'm more of a Daryl Haller.
Oh, yeah?
More so than a
Holler and odor?
Than a John Odor.
Maybe that's what we need to make our cover band, Hall & Odors.
Hall and Odors. I mean, why not? Which one do you want to be, though?
Holler for odors.
I have to be Daryl, or it's like a deal breaker.
I'll be honest. If you played me their songs, I'd probably know them, but I wouldn't know, hey, that's a Hall & Oates song.
Okay. Well, John Oates is the one with the mustache, so.
Oh, that breaks it down.
We got to fill it on out there.
What is he up? Okay. Well, who's the third guy in the band?
Just some guy.
He's like Spinderella of the group. Salt and Pepper's here.
He's just part of the backing band, probably.
Salt and Pepper. And we're here with episode 119, Josh, and we're sitting here for some reason looking at a picture of Hall & Oates. You ever do that on a Saturday?
Not since last Saturday.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I feel way more, speaking of last Saturday, I feel way more comfortable this week. And not because I was so nervous, not only because I was so nervous that we had Dave Brown on. That was really cool. But, dude, we found out that Dave likes to keep things clean. So,
like squeaky-ass white sheet clean.
Yeah. So we didn't want to be too dirty. And so we wanted to keep the whole episode last week clean.
And we did. The entire episode, not one curse word. Not one.
You could have listened to that with your
it's rated G.
6-year-old in the car. Yeah, we'll say
G.
PG because there was some adult content at the end.
Oh, yeah. We just told the truth.
Well, we're just saying PG. We'll say PG, parental guidance suggested.
Because that's what that movie was rated.
Right. So, yeah. Was it rated PG? Big was rated PG? Oh, okay. Anyways, the whole show to me, and I haven't listened back to it yet, Josh. The whole show to me felt a little different because the whole time I am trying to come up with something to say that's not off color, and most of the time my humor is dark and off color. Mm-hmm. And like after the interview, the rest of the show, I was like, well, this is one that my family might actually listen to. So I don't want to be too dirty. And like, Richard Lee, we heard you saying fuck 47 times on there. We counted it. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say anything too dark. And then to respect Mr. Brown, we didn't want to. My struggle was using dark humor. Josh, your struggle was trying not to curse.
Yeah, it's hard to shut it off sometimes for me.
You had fucking blue balls.
Oh man, I had the blue mouth like a motherfucker. Oh.
Yeah, that ain't the first time.
Blue mouth.
Pretty popular at the truck stops.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh
Shit.
Okay, get it all out there and hold on. Here we go.
Because this hot load of freight is just going to have to wait. 18-wheelers were lined up for 3 city blocks.
God bless you, Red.
Oh, and then right as they're about to. Oh, boy. Oh.
Are you done?
You don't like you're in a good mood this week.
I'm just saying, you're gonna let's do the Grand Slam. Go all the way around the tree.
Yeah, I see.
This asshole fuck these words up, man. I mean, he got words that he don't even need.
They only want
don't even want to hear. Hey, whatever you have to do, you do the motherfucking shit. The motherfucker, hey.
Well, let me tell you something about that Creole wolf there. I do declare. It's kind of like taking dill powder and pouring it onto your butthole.
That ain't country. Because this hot load of freight is just going to have to wait.
You stole my soap? Who steals soap? I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it.
Down so up to my trial in federal court, and my toe hurt like a motherfucker.
But we're sitting here looking at Hall & Oates because, Josh, every once in a while I introduce you to a new song. Like something that fucks your world up for like a week. Where it'll be stuck in your head and you're like, oh, like, little darling, little darling. And then what was the other one? If I had wings,
yeah, that was
I'd pick you up.
That one was a dinger band. That was like a good month or so.
But I told you.
But I infected other people, so it was all good.
But anyways,
spread the love on that one.
Just to finish off what we were saying, we didn't want to curse or anything last week. So if last week's show was kind of like not on par with what we normally do, we apologize.
And you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Dave Brown.
Yeah. Tell them Dave sent you to fuck yourself.
And also, you might want to check out Pro Shingle.
Oh, geez. So I was telling Josh that there was a song. Well, we were going through songs, and we were talking before the show started, and for some reason I had this song pop in my head, and Josh heard that, and he was like, "This is Hall & Oates." I was like, "No, this ain't Hall. Did Hall & Oates do this song?" And he was like, "Well, it's the same beat. It's the same beat. Listen." And he plays it back, and yeah, I'll be damned if that's not the same beat.
And it's literally like 21 years later. They must have just paid them to use it or something.
Yeah, I mean, that probably what happened. But I love how you were like, I can't listen to that. They stole Hall & Oates' shit.
Fuck,
and then
Simply
you start
Red.
singing all of Hall & Oates. I was like, you're a Hall & Oates fan? Oh,
You never knew that.
I live and die by those fuckers.
Wow.
Followed on tour. Fuck one of the roadies to get backstage passes.
I've never went that far.
Oh, but would you if you could get a backstage pass? Just a little HJ.
I mean, this VIP double photo op, maybe.
I ain't gonna be sitting down back there anyways. Here, but I want you to hear this song. It's called Sunrise. Every once in a while, this is the song that gets stuck in my head. Like,
But before you get too far into your own shit or whatever,
Oh.
I want you to look at this guy's face on the YouTube video.
Yeah.
This is 2003, right?
Yeah.
That's when the album came out. Look over to Simply Red, Holding Back the Years, and my, what a damn title that is. That motherfucker aged like 30 years from 2003 to then.
he did.
And that's probably, a few years ago.
Right.
But goddamn, dude. Something like major happened in this man's life to go down, man. I look like at least better part of 20 years
we
more.
we all handle stress weird. This was in 2003, and then the
drugs stopped.
Yeah. I wondered what I thought wasn't a hornet's nest, and I mowed over that son of a bitch, and here I am.
Now, ironically, my face is all swollen up and it's never went down. Simply Red, ladies and gentlemen.
But this is the song, like, if you hear a song like out that kind of does that. When
it reminds you of
Stone Temple Pilots or Pearl Jam or Creed, in the time you sing like this, even So this is the song I do, but it's directly opposite, and you'll know what line it is I do when we get there. But this will be one of those songs that sticks in your head too.
Probably won't.
Just for the beat. If I get Daryl Hall and John Oates in your head, then I've won. Get to the chorus.
Never heard this song.
That's what part gets stuck in my head.
Which one?
I find myself doing that a lot.
I've never heard this.
You've never heard this
Nope.
song. Let's hit the chorus one more time. I like it better than the the Hall and Odors.
Well, you can go fuck yourself.
I want to hear the chorus one more time because it's.
This sounds like a tune that would be on like a Hallmark movie or something.
Yeah.
Even stealing the lyrics.
Is that the song?
You draw the line. Use my body, now you want my soul. Don't
What
forget
year-
about it, say no go.
I remember when you were.
Yeah.
So, I remember when we were kids, you used to like Guns N' Roses.
Mm-hmm.
And I never remember you bringing up Hall & Oates as like, you know what, I like Hall & You went through a lot of phases musically when we were kids. That's fair to say.
Yeah.
I think there was a 2-week turnaround from Keith Sweat to Hank Williams Jr. one time, which was odd.
I don't know. I liked a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, I was cool with you liking stuff. It's like you would turn your back so quickly on certain genres, and you'd be like, "No, that's some old shit. I'm into country western now."
It's just different phases.
I guess so, but you ought to be all upset about it now.
I just said it's different phases. You're like trying to beat a dead horse or something.
You trying to beat my dead horse from the 8th grade? When I wore cowboy boots and flannel.
Okay.
Okay. I'd get all upset. But no, it's I never heard you say anything about Hall & Oates. Like, this is news
sorry.
to me. This is news to me.
I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't never mention really my Billy Ray Cyrus CD. I never mentioned a lot of stuff.
I'll give some. I like Billy Ray Cyrus. I listen to everything though, man. I'm the same way.
I just, you know,
Some give all.
that was a good. That I mean, I look back. That was a good CD. Easy to make fun of though, because
Yeah.
the achy breaky heart
Yeah.
bullshit was everywhere.
Not the greatest parent. Look at Miley Cyrus. Yikes. Anyways.
When you got enough money to provide everything, but you provide a good fathering.
A good fathering just sounds dirty.
No, a good rogering.
I'd like to give her a good fathering, if you know what I mean.
A good rogering sounds dirty.
Oh, man. Rogering does sound dirty. That's like 50s dirty.
Oh,
He gave him a rogering at the soda fountain. But a good fathering, I don't know. That just sounds...
Might be a little touchy.
Yeah. But anyways. Should be me. No. But anyways, there was something I was going to say there, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember hearing you mention Simply Red when we were kids.
I did.
Richard.
I mentioned a lot of people that y'all made fun of me constantly over. You like that band,
Dishwalla.
huh? It was just that one song. What was the song?
I don't know. I get knocked down. I gotta get up again.
No,
Never
that
gonna
was
keep me down.
That's tub thumping. Oh, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Tub thumping?
Yeah.
Well,
You know what tub?
I
thumping
don't.
is.
I really don't.
That was the name of the song, "Tub Thumping" by Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba. That's them. That's
Yeah.
them. Chumbawamba.
Yeah, but y'all used to make fun of me over a lot of things, like listening to certain music. But what I was going to say was that reminded me when I was shopping for your birthday, I ran across this store that had like a vinyl of Guns N' Roses' "Appetite for Destruction," and I almost bought it for you. But it was like $100 and something bucks. I was like, I don't love him that much. He's a good dude.
I don't have a vinyl record
No,
player,
but it
so-
was just, it would have been cool to have, I think. You know, just the album cover and everything. What?
So Simply Red, did they ever have a A religious
It
tour?
looks kind of like, dare I say, homosexual Star Wars.
No, almost like Jesus, but a redhead walking through the sands of the Sahara.
So this is Simply Red Stars. And dude, look at how many views this thing has. 64, and that's just this one. 64 million views on this one.
Probably trying to figure out what the fuck it is.
He looks like Richard Simmons and Boy George had a kid. Does he not? He's kind of got a Richard Simmons look.
Or Yahoo Serious and what's that one little Clay Aiken?
This was just one of those things that popped up on YouTube.
He looks like he's wearing clothes from the 1600s with the fucking robe garbs.
I've heard this song before.
Probably on, like I said, a Hallmark movie.
I don't
like
watch
Candace Cameron and some asshole with a fucking
Did you
weatherman haircut.
I know this is going to sound very sexist, but did you ever have you seen Candace Cameron lately?
Boy, have I. I would still full on woo. I'm talking woo.
Yeah. She didn't look that good back when we were younger, did she?
Man,
Am I wrong?
To me, I could sue her ass right now for residual carpal tunnel syndrome.
But I mean, that would be a case that would be against most women in America, Josh.
At least
and
the
some
better,
overseas.
At least the better part of the 94/95 JCPenney's catalog lingerie model. I will sue every one of them.
Oh, that was the thing that we had to look at when we were kids.
And dude, I remember telling you, I think it was when 96 came out.
I wish I could find one of those.
She's got a nipple showing. Page 38.
You
the
can see
third
it through the
one
lace. You can see it through the lace. It was always disturbing. Like the older those catalogs is, you could see like the
camel
underwear,
toes and shit.
It was the Bush imprint.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god. Like how did I don't know. Maybe I need to be quiet. I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to say. But yeah, I mean that, and then of course when we were a little bit older and Victoria's Secret came out, it was like we were looking at those granny panties in the JCPenney's catalog.
I think it was because the Victoria's Secret models, they all looked unattainable as far as our standards. But there
I could
was
probably
a few
get that
of them.
JCPenney's chick. If I
Look at
wanted.
that one girl. Look at the fat one. I could probably bang her.
Oh man.
This is just goddamn disturbing, Richard. And I wish you'd turn
all
this
right, we'll
shit
turn
off.
it off. We'll turn off the. We've got.
Is he
Simply
trying to
Red.
be Jesus, or a Star Lord? Because I'm seeing a bunch of astrology.
Like I said, I didn't mean this in a bad
religious-
way. He looked like it was like a homosexual Star Wars, is what I said, because he's wearing like the Star Wars robe, but he looks very effeminate. I feel like I said that PC enough, right?
I know what you mean, though.
Jeez. This is I was thinking about something the other day. Speaking about hairstyles, I know you had.
Speaking of bush hair,
how you like to wear yours? I like to wear mine with a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back.
I'm full on buckwheat right now. But anniversary time, I like to clean up my act.
Oh man.
Get that little Dave Brown part going on.
You parting your pubes?
This is what I call the meeting look. The presentation piece.
You ever thought about braiding it?
That's if I go about a year without chopping it.
Yeah. Come to P3, Florida, man.
Put some dreadlocks in it. Come to Florida. Play the bongo or the
steel drums,
the trash can drums with my balls. Bum, 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 bum. Just let them bounce.
Oh, that would hurt. Yeah. But no, man. That threw me for a loop, man. I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah, hairstyles. He's like, you had one like this too. Rat tails. You remember rat tails?
I did not have a rat tail.
You had
I
a rat tail
mullet.
at one time.
No, I didn't.
You didn't have a rat tail? I could have swore you had one. Well, rat tails were the mullets of mullets, right?
Rat tails were like the white trash of the mullet.
Yeah, I mean, well, mullets were already white trash. Let's be honest.
But a lot of people had them. But if you had a rat tail,
Yeah.
you might be white trash.
Well, I guess I had a mullet once when I was in 5th grade. Like, I wanted to like grow my hair out longer, but my mom wouldn't let me grow it like the front. She was like, I ain't gonna, you don't have to cut the back. And for like 3 haircuts, I let it grow in the back, and it got down to like my shoulder, like neck area. But my hair was naturally curly, so it started curling
So
under.
you look like Billy Joe Travis with a fucking mullet.
Yeah, it was not good. I remember I finally cut it off, and I was like, well, forget this. But
You were trying.
well, sometimes I look back at some of the hairstyles I chose, and I was like, man, it was a wonder I had hair at all.
I had, at one point when I was 8 years old, I had the spike.
Yeah.
I had the goddamn slats.
I remember the spike.
The spike with the slats cut out by my ears, you know, where your sideburns go or whatever. They had the goddamn
the skateboard.
The skateboard cut with the slats cut out
Yeah.
or whatever, and the mullet going at the same
Whatever
fucking time.
started the skateboard cut?
I don't know. Some asshole with a skateboard.
Just fucked it up.
I
one day.
guess. And everybody, oh, look at him. That's stupid as hell. I'm going to get my hair cut.
Probably one of the funniest moments I ever had with my hair. You know, back when we were wrestling on Memphis TV.
You're talking like back when I had hair.
Back
One
when
of
I
my
had
fondest moments.
No, one of the funniest moments about with anything with my hair was back when we were doing Memphis TV. I would always shave my head the day of. That way, you know, you don't have like I would shave my head the day of. Like we would have to get up at like we'd have to be on the road by like 7:00 to get to Memphis to film everything, and then we'd be there all day. Then we'd be going to Ripley. And I remember this week we weren't doing Ripley, but we had to be in Memphis. It was Memphis TV taping weekend. And like I got up and I shaved my head. And this is back when I still had glasses and everything. And when I did my sideburns, I used to have to just buzz them all the way down. I had a goatee too. And for some reason, I got all the way down to the rim of my glasses and stopped. And I usually would take my glasses off to do the sideburn part. Well, I forgot to do my sideburns. So somewhere, if anybody has video of Memphis wrestling from when I was on it, there is a video of me with sideburns, like 2-inch sideburns, and my head shaved. And I remember when it was over, Miles said, well, before we went out there, Miles actually said something to me. He's like, why didn't you shave your whole head? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, you left your sideburns. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I didn't have a way to fix it. We were already on our way to Memphis, and I was like,
grab Eddie Marlin's pocket knife and Rambo that shit.
yeah. I was like, shit. I remember asking people, does anybody have any clippers back here? Nobody had clippers. And I remember Kevin.
Not only you're asking for clippers, you're walking around looking like an asshole with chops on your.
Well, I remember Kevin telling me, he's like, I just thought you meant to cut it like that. So I had to be on TV with sideburns and no hair.
Looking like an asshole.
Yeah, no, with a goatee and sideburns. It was not a good look,
That is
Josh.
fucking great.
And it wasn't like the sideburns were like angled off like Crushes were in the NWO, Brian Adams. Everything
It's
he
like
did.
you just quit.
It was just like, yeah, that'll do it. It was like,
Or there was a fire in your house, you had to run out while you were cutting your hair.
It was almost like the glasses were what was holding on my sideburns. So when you saw me and I had my glasses on, it just like the sideburns were connected to the glasses, like the glasses and the mustache thing, the disguise. But
Like some of them damn magic store glasses.
Yes. It was just I forgot to shave under my glasses. Oh, thank God for
That is
LASIK.
great.
Yeah.
We got to find that.
I've got it somewhere. I have a disc of all my wrestling stuff from Memphis. So somewhere out there I have it.
Here, Corey, look at this asshole with these sideburns. That's why he's not going over.
Well, that and the King's not here this week, so we're going to book him to lose. That was always my favorite thing. When Jerry was there, it was always like he would put us over because Jerry liked to build up the big guys, you know, the big, giant looking guys. You know, me and Miles weren't small. So he always liked to put us over.
In his mind, I'm gonna knock these bastards down.
Exactly. I mean, eventually that was what and I would be fine with that. But here's the thing: we couldn't gain any traction because every other week Lawler wouldn't show up, and it'd be like, "Well, we're gonna put y'all against."
Corey's like, "Let's go against Kid Wicked," and some other small guy,
and you guys are gonna lose to a super kick at 2 minutes. It's like, what? Okay, sure. And I remember there was one time we had to change our name, and we became the Hurricanes. And I was like, I don't want to be the Hurricanes.
Katrina's real big right now in the news. Y'all are the Hurricanes.
So we were the Hurricanes, which I hated that name. He wanted to call us like the natural. He was basically trying to get the natural disasters, but he called us the Hurricanes. And I remember nobody knew who that was, and they were just going to squash the Hurricanes. And then right before we were going to go out, like a segment before ours, Brian comes up and he's like, "Let's get the Hurricanes out here. They're fixing to go out." And we're like, "Well, we're here, Brian." And Brian's like, "Oh, fuck, that's y'all?" Like, we didn't know who I was like, "I didn't know who the Hurricanes." Shit. And he called Too Cool 2 over, and he was like, "All right, look, I don't really want y'all to eat these guys up." He's like, "I didn't know who they were." He's like, "This is what y'all are going to do. Y'all are going to jump them when they go out the curtain." And like he made it, he actually took care of us. Like he jumped us, and so it looked like we didn't even have a chance, you know, to even have a good match. But Brian took care of us that day. But I was like, dang, you know, this is stuff that we should be doing. We're a big enough tag team around here that we should be going toe to toe with Too Cool 2. Give them a heel team to face, you know. And no, they just attacked us before, or give them well, I guess we would have been babyface. That wouldn't have worked, but then we could have worked. I don't know. Brian took care of us that day, but Corey never saw anything in us. He tried to stiff one of the guys too before we on our Tunica show, because we had 4 agents, and he paid me and Miles, and then he didn't pay the other 2 guys, and they're like, "Hey, what about us?" He finally got them some money, but he tried to stiff them. And it was a weird time it was a weird turn of events, that whole Memphis thing, because like I said, depending on what week you were there, we would get pushed, and if not,
I never liked that whole the home of rhythm and blues. That's so lame. I think if they would have at least tried to keep it like Power Pro, just for the most part, the presentation and whatnot, that it would have went a lot better. But they just ran that damn thing right into the ground, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Yeah. I remember talking to, I think it was Alan Steele, about being at a show where they got jumped, and I remember something about Alan said, it was by Coco and somebody else, and Alan was like, "It's stupid for us to just sit here and walk to the back with him standing right out here." So they jumped him. Like they re-jumped Coco and them. and they got to the back, and they were like, "What the hell was that, guys?" It's like, no, it makes us look dumb if we're just walking to the back and you're standing there after beating us up.
Right.
So
makes sense, right?
Yeah, it made sense to me. I love Alan. So, but anyways, man, I tell you what, we've been doing this for a little while, Josh. What are you getting for your dad this Christmas?
Well, usually I get him some sort of power tool or implement of work, or something that he can, fuck around with out in the shed on his Bronco, or, fix a lawnmower or 2 or something like that.
Why don't you get him a trip to Florida, Josh? You think he'd use that?
I think he would sell that trip on Craigslist and get him probably a 5-horsepower tiller engine instead.
Well, get him a trip to Florida this year, and you can do that by visiting our link, tinyurl.com/P3Florida. Imagine your dad at SeaWorld whipping Shamu with that giant dick.
I was gonna say he'd have to keep his pants on at the freaking beach, because that old snake will crawl on out of anything.
Right.
A short pair of shorts or a Speedo, especially.
Yeah.
God Almighty, it'd look like you had a giant turd in there or something.
I'm gonna harpoon your ass. Anyways, get him tickets to Universal Studios, Legoland. Everything that comes with Florida comes with P3 Florida. That is tinyurl.com/P3 Florida. Florida Ticket Station is the way to go for all your Christmas gifts. Get them the gift of a summer vacation in Florida. Get your dad, Josh, the gift of Florida by going to tinyurl.com/P3 Florida. That's tinyurl.com/P3 tinyurl.com/P3Florida. Once again, tinyurl.com/P3Florida.
Some more P3 Radio.
This is one of my favorite songs, Josh. It's not.
Like ever?
No, I like it, though. It's Dire Straits, Walk of Life. This song, like we were talking about, just reminds me of like every like movie preview of a romantic comedy ever.
At least between 1985 and 1993.
He was a successful businessman. She was a gutter street whore. When they got together, they accidentally had a baby. What do you mean you're pregnant? Well, there's the lyrics. You said earlier that no one knew the lyrics to this.
I'm just not understanding them while I'm reading them.
Play dedication, devotion, turning on lights in the day.
What the fuck is he talking
Do the
about?
walk of life. He's doing the walk of life, man.
He's talking about a knife, talking about women. He's saying he wants to kill a woman?
Yeah, the boy can play. Is this guy like? I feel like he might be from New Orleans or Louisiana somewhere.
I believe Dire Straits is from England.
Tell me that doesn't sound like Justin Wilson singing.
Maybe not.
You don't hear that?
Not really.
Listen. Do the walk. Do the walk on life. Do the walk on life.
We just gonna put some of that walk on life over in the pot
Oh
there.
boy.
And then we just gonna stir it up for about 3 minutes.
Dude, we start talking like that, I'm gonna want to go to New Orleans. Like, literally one of my favorite cities. Some of the food is just like we've seen that movie. What was it? Not Wagons East. Almost Heroes with Chris Farley, and they were trying to redo the trip to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 of the ships just like, oh, can we go to New Orleans instead? The food alone is worth the trip. The food alone is worth the trip.
I'm
dude.
not a fan of all that spicy Cajun bullshit.
No, it's not only that. I'm not a spicy food fan either, but they have some food combinations that are just really good. That aren't spicy. Like, they're just really good. You should go, man.
Like what?
I had some nachos that they're called Nolan's nachos at this Ramalade place. It's called
What?
Ramalade. It's called Ramalade.
Is that not a Muslim holiday?
That's Ramadan.
Continue.
Anyways, it's called, I think it's Ramalade or Ramole, or anyways.
I am not calling them anybody for their credit cards today. It is Ramadan. Or Ramadan.
I don't want your Visa or MasterCard.
A Visa? What? Are you drunk?
Yes.
Yes. It's Ramadan. Did you ask me to have a rubber on?
But no, I mean, they have these things called Nolan's nachos. And they're nachos, and they have little pieces of like these Cajun sausages. Oh my God, it's good, man. Everything about I want some right now. Like, my mouth's watering right now.
I'll drive 12 hours and get them.
I will.
Get you a goddamn little life raft.
It's an
and go with
8.5
Captain Mark.
hour trip. Speaking of which, have you said Captain Mark? Any feedback on that?
He's dark.
Did you send him anything?
I have not.
Yeah. Despite my best efforts, which has been nothing to the point of now.
He's still in jail, Richard.
Yeah, you could send him something. People sneak things. I'm sure he's out on bail.
Yar, me gotta have a smartphone in here, me hearty.
I'm sure he's gotten bailed out by now.
No, as when I checked on him 2 weeks ago.
Did you call?
I looked up like on Google just anything developments of his case, and at that point
he was still in jail.
He was still in jail, and he hasn't even seen a judge.
I wonder if they'll let him get like phone calls.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't want to go through the effort, Richard.
I don't want to put money on his books and he stiff us.
I'm not saying that. Just Just call. Like, can we talk to inmate Mark?
Yeah.
Captain Mark.
Yeah, we'll give it a try. He goes by Captain, just so you know.
I don't know, man. It'd be nice if he would do our show, but I doubt it. I doubt he'll ever do it.
I don't know. I mean, he may be pissed. It just depends on how he sees it.
If he's got a sense of humor about kidnapping people.
Well, no, it's not only that. He just got a little too far in the sauce, I think, and he wasn't ready to go back in yet. That's all.
You sound like somebody that's been there before.
Like you haven't.
I've never kidnapped people on a boat, no.
I haven't either.
I've never tried to fight a random person walking down my street.
How do you know?
I haven't.
How do you know?
How do I know that you've done that?
I wouldn't have known I did it either unless somebody told me.
No, nobody's ever told me I've done that. No. Anyways, well, I'm tapped out. What do you want to talk about?
I say we go with Annie Lennox's greatest hits.
Oh, is that? What about Annie Lennox's greatest hits? Wait, what? Do you see that? What's that Dire Straits song lyric there? Did you see that?
They don't play that on 92.
They do. What is that lyric you just said? Oomba mooga. Oh, they're not playing it now.
It must be the edited version. Because that's where he would have
this is like the
Money for Nothing.
This sounds like the karaoke version, though. Yeah, he said the F word in there, and not fuck.
Then years later, they tried. Well, I wasn't talking. I was just talking about just generalizing certain people like what I was talking.
A big pile of sticks. Have you ever used a word that's its literal meaning, and not the?
Like, have I ever been to England and asked for a cigarette?
Yeah. Well, no, I guess this incriminates me, but I sent a message to somebody one time. It was just a big pile of sticks, and it said, "Look at this."
Yeah.
And they were like, I was waiting to see a picture of somebody. And I was like, no, it's a literal, that's what it's called, a pile of sticks. I just thought I was being clever, and you thought I was hating on somebody. No, we were talking about this song, too. I don't even know how this came up. Annie Lennox is No More I Love Yous.
It's the video terrifies me.
It's everything you hate.
Everything.
It's like a bunch of pile of sticks.
No, it's like everything you imagine is under your bed when you're 7 years old. Like you peek under there. That's
male ballerinas that are
with goatees and women that look like Evil Lynn with horns.
Yeah, that's true.
Staring at you like she's gonna eat you.
I would have went with
instead
like
of
Rita Repulsive, like from the Power Rangers.
I didn't watch
Rita,
Power Rangers.
You never watched Power Rangers?
No.
It was pretty cool. It was just
I was almost spanking it at that point in my life.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was too, but fucking Red Ranger and the Pink Ranger was the one that...
I tell you what, that green one, boy. Oh, man. He had to work out or something.
No, the Pink Ranger was pretty hot. You've seen the Pink Ranger.
I didn't. I mean, I probably would recognize her
I think
now.
her name was Amy Jo Johnson, I think was her name. They had a Yellow Ranger. It was weird how racial those Rangers were. The black guy was the Black Ranger. The red guy was... the yellow one was the Asian one, like the Yellow Ranger. And here's the thing, they made them that way because all the Power Rangers were guys. That was just a Japanese show that they overdubbed, and then made filmed some things around.
What was it? Sensei Go or something was the name of the
something
real...
like that. And then they ran out of footage that they could use that edited. And then the Japanese show, they got new Zords or whatever, like new robots, robot dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so they had to change everything and write a storyline around it. It was weird.
What's our time on this show, Richard?
We've got about 15 minutes left, Josh.
What do you say we find something that we can watch for about that time period? It may take us It may not be that long of a video, but it may be interesting enough to where we can stretch it out.
You already had it open. Right there.
I did. Oh boy. Well, thank you.
You got rid of Annie Lennox.
Fuck Annie Lennox, man. She scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, and I never forgave her for it.
So what are we gonna watch here, Josh?
So it's kind of an update from the last few shows, or at least the last couple of shows. We've had our little friend Natalia from the Ukraine,
The little darling.
the little darling from the
little
Ukraine,
American.
the short American.
Oh.
She is an American now.
The little Ukrainian American.
Yes, that is the correct. The little Ukrainian American, and she could have been Dennis the like we were talking about.
Okay. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Did you
Dennis
just
the
have a seizure?
Menace?
Are you having a stroke right now? You just
Dennis-
stopped talking.
Yeah, but you know what?
Could have been Dennis the. Everything tastes purple. And just fall over.
I almost said it. And I was like,
Yeah.
maybe not. But
You're going to be a big pile of sticks and punk out about it, aren't you?
anyhow,
Josh, we've heard you talking about this word.
use that word again.
Do you value your job, Josh?
You know,
Is that the word? Is that the conversation you have in your head when you think about saying certain things? Is that HR conversation?
Not
Josh,
re- more
do you
so-
value your job?
more so my JA bill flashes before my eyes?
Why
To be honest with you,
Why is your JEA bill flash before your eyes?
because that if I don't have the money to pay that, then I'm screwed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We're
JEA
not all
is
rich
already-
like you are.
I'm not rich.
Either way.
I love how that one time I told you, I was like, just come over, I'll buy the thing, and you were like, I'm thankful because I'm not because I have money and I'm not poor. It was like the $1 Million Man, and he was doing that like.
Yeah.
What I'm thankful for. And I just laugh because I'm like, it's like $5. And you're like, oh, can't all be rich.
I was just busting balls.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but anyways, I heard that the short Ukrainian American,
The Little Darling,
was on Dr. Phil this past week.
She was, and
And-
so this story's making its rounds, huh?
There are a few of the excerpts of the show that I'm not sure Dr. Phil's buying into this shit either. I'm really not.
That she's young, or that well, let's just play it. Maybe you'll answer that question.
The Barnetts, Christine and Michael, you say
That's the
had her
evil Americans, right?
Yes.
That left.
and declared.
Now,
Wait, who's that guy?
The couple that is with Natalia.
Is that Natalia there?
That's Dr. Phil.
No. No, not him. I'm talking about the little American that's
Yes,
sitting
the
there.
little darling sitting there.
That's
Is Natalia.
Okay.
And that family that's sitting beside her found her on the porch.
So we decided to keep her.
Pretty much. That's literally what they said. But this isn't in this video. This is different.
Wow.
22. And you told people you were 22.
Yes.
Why did you tell people you were 22?
That's just what I was told to say. Like if someone asked how old I was, that's just what
Who told you to say that?
The Barnetts did.
The Barnetts did?
Well, the Barnetts ain't here anymore, are they? Barnetts took their shit and went to Canada, didn't they?
And then
So
got a divorce.
You can tell them whatever the fuck age you want to be, darling.
Yeah.
And so then you go to Michigan and they do test, correct? Mm-hmm. And they came back and concluded that she was how old?
14 years old.
14 at the time, not 22.
Right. Yeah, because they were saying
she's
that
everything from 14 to 33.
They were saying that she has growth plates. She got room where she's still growing, and she was losing teeth too when we had her. So she had baby teeth.
Now they tell us because of her dysplasia that she has, that they can't figure out the age she is. So they can't make her back to 16. How were they able to make her 22 though?
It was 3 times. I remember first it was 11 to 14, and then it was 16 to 18, and then it was finally 22.
I love how we're just watching Dr. Phil right
Well,
now.
I'm feeling a little bit of guilt, kind of.
Because the first show we did when we talked about this.
Yeah, but at the same time, she just hasn't snapped it. Like if you were being accused
Right.
of that,
Well,
would you
at
not
the
just
same time, Dr. Phil's not sitting there going, "Tell him you're 22. Tell him, you
But
little demon."
you know how we are.
Right.
You know the doubts that we've had. everybody in America and all over the world are probably
it's because
sending her messages.
Usually, the first story you hear, if it's told believably enough,
you
believe it.
I agree.
Honestly,
I agree.
it's like Duke Lacrosse. What do you think about when you think of Duke Lacrosse? Terrible thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing: they were acquitted of all that because it came out that wasn't real.
Right.
So it's like, but that's the first story you heard. You could believe.
So that's the picture.
You can
that
believe
was
it.
painted.
Yeah. So like when you hear like this girl ain't really that age. She's just an adult trying to get over here and kill people. It makes for a believable story if you're looking for a horror genre, but not in real life. So yeah, the first story you hear, if it's believable, your mind's kind of set. That's why they throw out juries that, hear more about the case so you can't get a fair trial, because it's hard to sway somebody's opinion after they've been made.
once you've had an imprint of whatever on you,
it's hard.
about it,
now you're going against now you're going against yourself. You've already made your mind up, so now you have to have a very convincing argument to say the otherwise. So yeah, I get it.
They don't have sufficient evidence to overturn it to bring her back to a child, then why would you overturn it to bring her to an adult?
Well, here's the thing. In 2010, Children's Hospital says you're 8, not 6. 2012, the bone density test says you're 11, not 8. In 2012, the Barnett family doctor says both your bones and teeth prove you're 14, not 8.
My thing is, why were they having all these tests done in the first
Right.
place? Like, where did the doubt start? Was
So,
it all the damn Kevin McAllister fucking trap she was setting?
Who's Kevin McAllister?
Kevin McAllister. He got left home alone one time.
It wasn't like Home Alone. He got killed. Those burglars really did a number on him.
He was the one they couldn't make the movie out of.
But no, I mean, yeah, you're right. I bet you know what it was though. Probably this horrible family thought they wanted
These horrors of families.
They thought they wanted to adopt, and they realized they had. I wonder, and this is like I said, pure speculation on my part. So this is just my opinion. You remember those people that were like, "Well, I think if we have a kid, it'll make things better."
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe that was their thing. Maybe if we adopt a child, everything will be
You
better.
think they should have got a Shar-Pei instead of a short
I think they
American?
should have just got a divorce instead of bringing somebody else into their misery, if you want to be honest. But I think in my mind, they probably thought, well, let's adopt. And then they got this child that had a disability. So then they were trying to find a way out. So they kept taking it to doctor after doctor, taking her to doctor after doctor after doctor to try to get a back way out of having an adopted kid.
I seen her drinking a beer the other day. Is there any way she could be older, or is she just a bad kid?
Who gave her the beer? Well, I did. I'm just trying to find a loophole to get out of this.
That's all true. She's still a child. Why would she lie? So I'm saying, what's the motive for you to lie? All the tests confirm what you say within a range.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. There's this big debate about how old you are. To me, it doesn't make any difference. You're a human being that needs love and caring and nurturing.
Is Dr. Phil hitting on this little American?
And I tell you what, after this
Age
show,
is just a number, baby.
I would like to go and get you a couple of Chardonnays and tell you how proud I am of you.
If you're 43 or 14, it doesn't make any difference to you, does it?
That's the R. Kelly theory.
Oh, me.
Hold on, Josh. Here we go.
Oh, me.
Do it.
Oh, wait.
I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it.
He said it doesn't matter if you're 43 or 14 to me. That's literally what he just said.
Yeah, that ain't going to hold up well.
Right,
Not at all.
absolutely.
Not at
No,
all.
no,
Yeah,
no, no.
you're right.
But it mattered to the Barnetts, right? Why did she?
Well, in
when I
fairness, I tried to kill her.
I tried to pine saw the bitch. She questioned my age, Dr. Phil. She questioned my age.
She caught me putting butter at the top of the steps one night.
She cares.
I don't know.
I mean, if she cared about you, what difference does it make how old you are?
That makes a lot of sense what you say.
Well, it kind of matters for the taxes, really. School and whatnot,
Yeah.
too. But, that's just legalities.
There's a woman that's cradling a
Yeah,
baby
if you're
doll
8,
right
I
now
love
that
you.
would
If
love
you're
this
14,
daughter.
I don't. So I guess it comes down to whether or not, you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody.
I want to get that soundbite. I want that soundbite, Josh. Pull it back. That's the soundbite I want on here. On my iPad here. I want that soundbite, Josh. Play it.
Not, you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody.
Oh my.
You're right.
What's funny is the whole time he's saying that,
her eyes
and Dr. Phil's eyes were like they were in it together. Like you're an evil psychopath demon child that's here to murder everyone.
She's like, you know,
oh my, he's on to us. Roll that,
Frank. Is the car still started or?
Painted you as an evil sociopath. Some evil dwarf is going to like pop up and.
There's another one. There's another.
Like some evil dwarf
that's going to pop up. What's the rest of that line?
Poison their coffee or stab them in their sleep or whatever. But if that's true.
Play that back, please. Some evil dwarf that's going to pop up and poison their coffee.
You know, she's painted you as an evil sociopath. Some evil dwarf is going to like pop up and poison their coffee or stab them in their sleep or whatever. But if that's true, I guess they brought out the worst in you because you certainly haven't tried to murder you two.
Well,
Not
if
yet.
that's true. If that's
I haven't
true,
been worked into the wheel yet.
I love how Dr. Phil really held on to that. Well, if that's true, not like, yeah, that's probably false. It was just, yeah, if that's true, it could be still a possibility.
Might be true, might not be.
Chardonnay
still, right?
Do you like Dr. Phil?
Not really.
I don't either at all.
He's kind of an asshole.
I feel like he plays on. He would have taken that Dave Brown interview last week. How you feel about fucking Dave?
So Dave, tell me, Scott Bowden said a lot of things you didn't agree with, but
I've
what
got
about
the
that
transcript
time,
here.
What about that time the Dream Machine called Coco Ware up?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
what
yeah.
about then?
Oh, the Coco Ware, the.
And then he said he couldn't. What about that, Dave?
Oh man, good old. But yeah, I feel like he's an opportunist. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we were watching a show last night. My wife has really gotten into this show called Temptation Island. Have you ever heard about that show?
I've seen a porno one time.
Z-Plane!
I think it was called that.
Z-Plane! No, it's not the same thing. There's a show that used to be on back in the day, back in like the early 2000s, and they revamped it on USA called Temptation Island. What they do is they take these couples, and they put them on an island, and they basically separate them. So the men go in one villa, like one side of the island, and the women go to the other side of the island. And they put them in the same area as all of these single, like very like bombshell looking, girls and really like cut up muscular guys.
You got to try to fuck your way back to your wife.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and most of the and then what they do is they don't bring them together ever. Like they're apart for like 2 weeks. And every night they do this like bonfire thing where they show them a clip out of context of what what the guy and the girl has been doing. So they have to sit there. Well, one of the shows, the first video that the guy sees of his like girlfriend of 4 years that they've been having problems and they're on the show, like the first night she's like banging this guy. And like they show this video of her getting in the bed with him and like on top of him, and he's like, what the hell? So the rest of the time he's like, I'm single now. But the funny part about it is they'll show them these clips, and the girls, like for the most part, are like immediately crying because they're crushed that their man is like having some kind of a connection, any kind of connection with another girl. And the guys, they're like, at least my girl, like, every one of them were like, at least my girl didn't do that on the first night. So the announcer's like trying to get emotion out of them, and it's one of the Wahlbergs. It's like, I can't remember his name.
I order you to have some fucking emotion.
Yeah. So he's like basically trying to get him to cry. He's like, what are you feeling right now when you see your girlfriend flirting with a guy like that?
Does that make you want to just go bang every chick that you've ever seen in your fucking life?
And I told my wife, I was like, this is a horrible show. They're really just setting them up because you could have saw a video that was completely innocent of you doing something that was a game that you were supposed to be doing. And like that comes back and it's like, oh, he was licking whipped cream off of her neck. and like let me show you what your boyfriend was doing, and then your girl just sees you licking whipped cream off of some girl's neck, not telling them, hey, we told him to do this,
Right.
and now she decides to go blow John in the bathroom.
In the tiki shed.
Yeah, the tiki shed. It's like this show is horrible. They are really wrecking people's lives here.
And they're doing it for probably, I don't know how much compensation per
Not
show
a lot,
they'll
you would
get, but
think, yeah. Because
it didn't pay for the divorce and a new house,
well,
that's for sure.
They're not married yet. These are like just dating couples.
Well, if they're just banging around, hell, fuck them.
But still, it's like, man, this show is terrible. Why are they doing that to these people, you know? They're still
They are
people.
opportunists.
They're still human beings,
They are,
Josh.
even if they're little demented dwarfs that want to murder everyone with pine sol.
I used Murphy's oil soap to fuck up a person one time, but never kill.
I had to put my mother in a home after that. She never told me to clean my fucking room again.
Oh, man. Well, Josh, I think we've done it for this week. Episode 119 in the books.
Oh, man. I feel like I needed a shower after that one. It was a doozy.
Well, if they want to find more of our shows, if they want to go back and hear the first coverage of the Little Darlin 2 episodes ago, how do they do that, Josh?
Well, just however you listen to this show, you can search our archives and see all kind of different stuff in there. Lots of fun stuff. And on Twitter, we are at P3 Radio, the number 1. On Facebook, go in your search bar, type Pop Poncho. You're bound to see our picture. And if you want to get with us via text message or leave us a voicemail, hell, we might play the motherfucker on air. You never know. Make it funny, and we just might. 731-300-6675, 24 hours a day.
And of course, you can check out our show that we do on Shooting the Shiznit called AEW Dynamite. That's a limited run. We'll be doing that through the rest of this year, with the only breaks coming at Thanksgiving and the last 2 weeks of December. So we'll be doing the rest of this year every Wednesday night. And that show's usually out by 10 o'clock. Of course, also, you can check out our other shows that we've been doing with BT over there at his channel, Shooting the Shiznit. Just type it in. We've also done Was It Really That Good this month with him, filling in for Gene Jackson. And just check out all of his shows. If you like wrestling and you like our podcast, you might like some of the stuff on his station. So if you want to do that, go ahead and check that out. But for now, we are out of time. We'll catch you back next week. For Josh Briley, this is Richard Mulligan saying thanks for listening and good night.